Yep, I hope that you guys are doing well, and I hope you are happy with the partial profit taking that the technical team has done. I think we have done so far 2 partial profit taking, all right? That partial profit, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it should be around 30%, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so in terms of the ROI. Sometimes that is the situation. Okay, we see the market is floating, right? So when market is floating, we don't see the opportunity, so we don't want to touch the board. We just leave the board as it is. Then when the opportunity arrives, then we actually execute the partial profit taking. So sometimes, although you don't see the profit, in days, right? But when you see the partial profit taking, it's like it covers the whole month, all right? The whole month's return, okay? So this kind of situation can occur, okay, when we are doing the real trading, all right? So now I hope, all right, I hope, but I am actually not so confident that the price will go up, okay? High likely what we are seeing now is a retracement, and most likely we could see price comes down, and probably hit 109, 108, and so on, okay? So high likely, okay? So nevertheless, it's good to be here to know what is really happening with the market. So far, everything is been playing out, just, beautifully, right? So I think that is great. Okay, okay, guys, if you are ready, put up that thumbs up. I think I want to get going, right? I want to get going. We will get started. So that will be great. Okay. All right, good to have each and every one of you there. Good to have you, PK, Andy, Zoom, Haruna, good to have you. All right, good to have you. Every one of you are here. Okay, that's great. Okay, then. Okay, I think we will get started, okay? All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, let's get started, okay? Let's get started. Okay, all right. Basically, right. I think as you know that we have this AMA session every first week. Sorry, I'm actually watching some of the movement of the market while I'm actually talking with you guys. All right. So pardon me if I keep looking down, just to make sure everything is in order. Sometimes when you are managing trades, right? So that is some of the challenges that we have here. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so what I want to do is that quickly look into the crypto market, just an outlook. Where is it so far? Okay, since the previous update, and then just a quick update on the partial profit taking that we have been doing. I think we have done about 2. So I'm going to show you some data later on so that you understand what is going on, right? And then JDXCopyMaster, today I want to teach you guys how to enable the auto daily profit taking into the spot. Actually, you can do that. So the profit can actually straight away transfer into the spot wallet. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And you are fortunate if you are here because today I want to teach you the 1% rule. This is considered as a new education for our community, right? So I just want to show you guys what is this rule all about and how this rule can play a significant role when come to wealth creations and so on. Okay, so that's basically what I want to do. Okay, all right. Let's quickly look into the market first. Okay, all right. So we are actually seeing some basically some pump is actually happening at this time. I believe this is because of the Trump basically is approving a few things, right? On the I think the 4K or something, right? So they are trying to approve. I think that few things that are taking place that probably that is causing the pump of this price. Okay, but nevertheless, it's good to see. Let me go back to Bitcoin here. Okay. All right, so it's good to see. So let's just quickly recap. All right, so we had the all-time high 123,000 somewhere here, and then we saw the sellers start to come in and begin to sell. Okay, so that's why we have what we call you know you can see that the seller actually selling, right? They are pushing the price down. The buyers actually start to push the price up, and then the seller start to push the price down. So since then, Bitcoin price were actually correcting on the sideways. So you can see, right? If you look into JDXBOT, JDXBOT were actually floating for quite some time. This is the daily chart, okay? Been floating for quite some times and moving on the sideway, right? So, and then basically when you see a spinning top, right? Spinning top, something like this, this basically indicate that, and then the price moves sideways. So it indicate basically a bear flag. So so then we saw the price come down, right? So now you can see the price basically on the daily, right, is moving along this channel. Now this is you can even say this as a bear flag channel. So high likely, right? I think at the moment, if I look into it, Bitcoin is rejecting, right, somewhere here. You can see, okay, it's rejecting somewhere here 116,800. So I have actually a target of 116,980 or around 117,000. Okay, but you can see that we are not that far away from the target. So it's rejecting, but nevertheless, market, we could see either price goes up or there could be a correction there. But it is important also to watch the CM, the futures market, because I noticed that there is a gap. Okay, there is a gap. So this is where the price just now push. Okay, the few hours back, the price push. So when the price push, you can see that there is a gap here. All right, there's a gap here. So the gap is around 115,600. That simply means, right, sooner or later, okay, the price can actually reverse. Right, the price can probably come down and take out this gap. Okay, because all the gap, right, so far all the gap is been filled. Okay, so we have another gap now just been created, 115. And also don't forget, we have a gap at 92,000 here. All right, this is the 92,000. We have another gap at 92,000. The rest of the gaps are all already been filled. Okay, so just take note of that. So high likely, okay, as I mentioned to you, right, this move that we are seeing now, it could be a retracement, but it may not really be a push to the uptrend, because if you look into the hourly volume, right, there is not much volume there. Let me see the 4 hours. Yeah, you can see there is not much volume actually. Okay, so this could be a reactive upward move. Okay, so but nevertheless, just watch the market and see, okay, where it is going. But I'm just seeing a rejection over there. So high likely, if it plays out, then we could come back to 115,000. All right, 115,000 where the gap fill is, and thereafter we can see you know, where the market is basically going to pursue, right? So this is something important just to see the situation of the market at this moment. So you can see it is currently moving on this, you know, on this ascending channel. Okay, the market is moving on the ascending channel. But nevertheless, 8:30, right? The stock market opens, and then we will see. Sorry, about 9:30, we will see what really happens there, because high likely there could be a lot of profit taking too. Okay. All right, so that's basically what is happening with Bitcoin. So we are still within 120 and 115. Now, if there is a correction, right, we still have the strong support here, 109. All right, 109 is a strong support. I think if 109 breaks, then high likely we might go to retest the 100,000. And if 100,000 doesn't hold, then we could basically go all the way down to 98,000, and then we will go down. So things will happen gradually. Okay, but on the daily also, we are seeing the money flow is already coming up. Okay, so high likely, right? Sometimes the money flow can go all the way to the middle range here, and then it can come down again. Okay, but what I'm saying is that on the weekly, it is already coming down. All right, so always, right, the bigger time frame has more power compared to the smaller time frame. So that's the reason why you always want to analyze the bigger time frame first. Look at the bigger time frame and see where the direction of the market is, and then you drill down. Okay, the ocean strategy, right? Remember, right? When you learn the trading, right? Then you drill down on the smaller time frame to see where is the wave, right? The wave under the ocean that is actually building up, right? So that's basically what we're seeing here. So while we are speaking now, you can see the market is basically rejecting, right? So, but nevertheless, anything can happen. This is Bitcoin, okay? So just take note of this insight, okay? And we are also seeing Ether is actually pumping too at this time, right? Ether is also actually pumping. So it seems like a similar pattern taking place between Bitcoin and Ether. On the hourly, it is already extremely overbought. So we could probably see, you know, some kind of corrections even taking place for the Ether, okay? All right, so that's just a quick insight into Bitcoin, all right? So that at least we know where we are moving. So in terms of JDXBOT, right, we are waiting. I think a lot of the positions on the long falls around 118, 119. So if the market move above, let's say 118 onwards, okay, 118 onwards, I think we already know that users have an open position, the entry price there. So if the price move 118, 119, 120, then I think we will be closing some of the users' position that fall within that range. Okay, so if you fall within that range and there's a 35% ROE, then we can already start to close those positions. All right. So that's the reason why we actually did the partial profit for the short. But hopefully, okay, hopefully we don't see the market goes down, okay? But nevertheless, if the market goes down, if the market goes to 109, 110, or 108, we will be doing the partial profit, okay? So just take note of that, okay? All right, so that's basically a quick insight into the market. We don't want to go too detailed because I just want to make sure to relate with JDXBOT so that you understand what we are doing, you know, at this time. So that's the reason why we are basically being patient, just waiting for the market to move, okay, and then take advantage of the market, right? Okay. So I hope that is clear. Any question on the market itself before we proceed? Any question? Okay, please, okay. There are a lot of sentiments taking place right now. Every time there is a tariff news, we expect the market to drop. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on. But why I really expect is this. I think we're going to see in the macro, right? Market August normally is the worst month for Bitcoin. All right, worst month for crypto. So I believe that this month probably we could see a much bigger downtrend. All right, then remember in the month of September, that I think for sure that the interest rate will be hiked. And there is a saying that most probably it will be 0.5. Okay, 0.5. Instead of 0.25, it will be 0.5. I think during September, we could see major breakout of the price of Bitcoin. High likely it can even test the all-time high, 123, 125. All right, please understand that. So that is a high probability, okay? Bitcoin can even go back to 125 and create a new all-time high. But there is less probability, okay, if it can go to like 130,000 or so, all right? But these are just based on probability, okay? But just take note because if the interest rate is being high, then it's a good news, all right? Then all these risk-on asset value, right, will start to go up, okay? And also, please be very careful since Bitcoin is correlated with the stock, then it is also important to watch the stock market because a lot of these stock market prices are already, you know, at the all-time high. Any correction takes place in the stock, it will affect Bitcoin very, very badly. A 10% could have a like 30% impact on Bitcoin. All right. So with the reason, you know, with the recent stock market, a correction, you already see how Bitcoin actually corrected. All right. So these are the common scenario that is going to take place because Bitcoin is now closely correlated with the stock market. Okay. So this is another sentiment that we need to be very, very careful, okay, with whatever that you are trying to do at this moment. Okay. Okay. Any question on that, guys? If no, then I'm going to just proceed, okay? Okay, great. So that is basically the crypto space itself, okay, the crypto market itself. Now, the next is basically the partial profit, right? Now, as I always mention, right, the problem with a lot of traders, or even when it comes to JDXBOT or the CopyMaster, right, is just a matter of emotions and patience, right? So when we are doing the real trading, right, so this is the common scenario that happened, because I do have people who reach out to me because they are expecting like daily return, you know, monthly return, you know, and when they don't see this kind of return coming in, and sometimes it took them 1 month, right, to wait, right? They start to get frustrated, okay? But this is common, guys, and we can't what to say, take action just because you are frustrated, okay? So a 1% frustration is not the decision point for us to do anything, all right? Because then it will affect the overall team. So as I always mention, right, our top priority is always to safeguard the position. And then the second is the profit. So when there is an opportunity, then we will take the profit. So as you saw, right, recently, right? So you can see, for an example, right, these two accounts, okay, USDC and USDT, you can see, right? Can you see? So we don't have any profit taking for, I think, for months, okay, for about 25 days or for 30 days, right? There was no profit taking, and then suddenly we did a two partial profit taking. All right. And that two partial profit taking, if you look into like USDC and USDT, this is an example of our bot. Okay. So you may have your own data, right, for you to actually verify. So this account, the capital is 200. The realized profit is about 86.94. The net profit at 75% is $65. So that means that the net ROI, okay, for the $65 against the 200 is 32%. Is that awesome? So you waited for 30 days, and now there you got your 32%, you know, so for USDC. You see that? So this kind of situation tends to happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen in the daily basis, in the weekly basis, but sometimes it can happen, you know, once we have that opportunity to actually harvest in this kind of profit, right? So one shot, right, we just actually take this kind of profit. So it goes same with the USDT too, okay, you can see. But I am more concerned nowadays with the win rate, and also especially with the PNL, with the PNL ratio, right? So that is going to be very critical. So that's why we are trying to keep the PNL ratio as high as possible, and we try to make sure that the win rate is 100%, okay? So moving forward, okay, with the new strategy that we're going to put in, I think all the win rate will be 100%, right? All the win rate will be 100%. So that is basically how the new strategy will be working. So if you get back into the bot, right? Maybe some of you wondering, right, how do you get this data, right? So you can see that the bot is still running, guys. So when the short was actually having the ROE above 35%, we actually decided to do the partial profit. So thank goodness, okay, we actually made the right decision before the ROE turned to red again. Okay, so every time the ROE is green, we can actually make the decision, but it's also depend on the position ratio. So now you can see that we actually have swapped the ratio. Previously, short was the highest, long was the smallest. Now the long is the bigger position, and the short is the smaller position. So that means we need the price to go up 120,000 to close the both of the position, because now we are working on the bigger position. All right. So bigger position means your profit will be greater, and even if you have a losses on your short, it doesn't matter, because we will still be having a net profit. Okay. I hope you understand what we are doing. All right. So that's basically what is happening now. So you can go to your asset, right, and you can actually check the recent performance. So go and look for the futures, and then you can look into the PNL, right? So if you look into the PNL, you can see, you know, the status of the PNL, but we are not really want to focus on account, because Account analysis are showing you the floating position, which is irrelevant for us. Okay, go to the trading analysis. So in the trading analysis here, you can see, all right. So if you just put a 30 days, for example, all right, you can see that we have a 30 days total realized PNL over there. All right. So this is basically how you can actually check your trading performance. So I have one more, which is the USDC. So you can see it's around 86. So for the I think you can see there are two profit taking been done, right? Two partial profit taking. So do confirm that. Okay. Some of you may say that, oh, I didn't see any profit taking for my account. If you don't see, that means that you did not meet our criteria for the profit taking, right? Because we are looking at ROE above 35%. We are also looking into your liquidation data. So if your liquidation is below 15,000 points, we didn't take profit. Because if we take profit, then it will affect your liquidation price. Okay, so we didn't take profit. So if you notice that your estimate liquidation is below 15,000, that's not many. I think 1 or 2 users. Okay, because high likely you didn't follow up your sub account, you didn't top up your sub account. All right, and because of that, your liquidation might have actually come down. So just go and take a look, right? If you can top up, what will happen is that if you push above 15,000, then in the next round, when we do the partial profit, right, we will then do the partial, you will then fall into the criteria. Okay, so please understand, right? So because we don't want to deliver profit at the expense of getting you liquidated. All right, we don't want to do that, okay? Because preserving your capital is our top priority, okay? So I hope that is clear. But I think only 1 or 2 users, okay? All the other users, I think, is above 15,000, okay? So I hope that clarifies, okay? That clarifies how we actually doing what we are doing so that we can actually protect users' account. Okay, so please take note of that. So maybe the next round, we can reduce the ROE. We can bring down the ROE to 25%, no problem. Okay, but we cannot compromise on your estimate liquidation price. So if your estimate liquidation is still below 15,000, we will not take profit for your account. All right, so in that manner, you just have to wait until the price goes up to 120,000 for us to close the position. Okay, so just take note of that. Okay, please understand that partial profit taking is crucial because if your position size between long and short is the same, then you will start to incur losses. So we don't want that to happen. That's why when we take the partial profit, you can see your short position size is now smaller than your long position size. Okay, can you see that? So you can always remember, right? I mentioned to you that it must be like below 0.3, the ratio, right? So if you take the smaller size, divide by the bigger size, it must be 0.3. So if it is not 0.3, don't worry, right? Because then we will be doing a few more partial profits so that we can get to that ratio, or else we will be compromising, right? So we have to compromise because if the price really goes up to 120,000 suddenly, then we have to compromise to close and high likely take a small loss. It doesn't matter. You see that? Rather than we continue to stay in the floating, right? So please take note because please understand, right? Taking a small loss is better than getting liquidated and lose 100% of all your fund. All right. So that is, I think, a much better decision rather than getting the position liquidated. Okay. I hope this is clear. All right. I hope my explanation is clear. I hope you understand now what we are doing. So that's the reason why the AMA session is important, so that we can actually explain to you the action that we are taking and so on. Okay. So how many of you who are here actually saw the partial profit taking in your bot? Probably you can put a thumbs up or say yes in the chat. At least I know those of you who saw that partial profit. Yeah, because I know that some of you want to see some profit, right? Because you need the money and so on, right? So you can put up that in the chat room. Okay, that will be great. Okay, all right. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? Anything you want to ask or clarify before I proceed further? No, okay. That is for the JDXBOT, okay? JDXBOT, okay. Okay, if no means that is great. Now let's just let's just move on, okay? Okay, all right. Next will be the copy master, right? So I just want to quickly guide you guys. So if you are doing the copy master, you can actually enable the auto daily profit taking, okay? Which means that once you enable, it will actually send your profit to the spot wallet, similar as what JDXBOT is doing. I think this feature is there for the copy trader too, okay? You can do that, okay? So if I bring you back to the board, and then if you just, go back to the asset, right? If you go back to the asset, now you choose the futures copy trading and you go to your management. Okay, so in the management, you see, okay, watch very carefully, okay, or else you can actually look through the video later on. Okay, then you can see withdraw, right? Withdraw asset. Tap the withdraw asset. Okay, don't key in any amount. Okay, don't key in any amount. You see the daily profit hours, right? So you can see that your copy trading profit, excluding invested principal and unrealized profit, will be automatically transferred to your spot account at 12 a.m. UTC +8 every day. All right, so you can enable that. All right, you can enable and then make sure you confirm that. But what I want to emphasize is that if you don't see a profit, right? Let's say, for example, I close, but you don't see the profit, high likely it is because of the unrealized profit. Can you see that? So because of that, it may not send to the spot wallet. So that's the reason why, as you understand, right? What I want to do is that I want to close all the copy trading position, and then we want to restart everything all over again. All right. So once I close the copy, so let me just confirm this. All right. So once I confirm, right, by right, the profit should actually get into your spot wallet, okay, every time. But when there is a unrealized profit and so on, high likely you may not see that happen, because if there is an unrealized profit and your amount get into the spot wallet, it will then affect your liquidation. All right. So because of that, it may not take place. But when we restart the copy trading once again later on, I think these features will be there. Then it's easy. So every day, right? Every day, you can see your actual profit in the spot wallet. So if you want to transfer back and compound it, that is up to you. Okay, because at the moment, right, I know some users have the difficulties because they are not able to see their actual profit. Okay, but honestly, guys, these 2 months, right, I was actually just studying a lot of different things with the copy trading features and so on. So, and then we also decided to deliberately take the loss, right? Remember the Sol, the Sui, right? We actually deliberately close it. But now you see the Ether and the BTC positions are continuously generating profit. So as I mentioned to you, right, that when I close all the position, I will only be focusing on these 2 assets, which is Bitcoin and Ether. That is it. So now we are seeing the profit. So this profit then, right, will reduce your unrealized or whatever losses that you have. But then when I close, hopefully, okay, today is what, Thursday, right? So if I can close this position either today or tomorrow, then the weekend, there won't be new position. So what you can do is that you have to check again your available balance, everything. And then you might want to top it up, whatever it is, right? Get ready probably for next week. And that is where we will start all over again. Okay, so make sure that you do whatever necessary. Okay, so we have done a deliberate taking loss, right? That is deliberate. Okay, as I put in the group, right? That is deliberate. As I mentioned to you, I will rather take a 10 or 15% loss rather than, allowing that floating to actually continue and then we get liquidated. All right, so I would rather take a loss rather than 10-15% loss rather than getting 100% liquidated. Can you see that? So we have to make some decision at that point of time. So I have to make the decision, and that's the reason why now I have more autonomy, okay, more autonomy to actually manage this Bitcoin and Ethereum easily because we have more available balance. So in that manner, right, it is almost impossible to get liquidated. All right, and also we can actually see the positions are closing more faster, because the more faster the cycle of that position closes and you got new position open, the more profit you can generate. Okay, so that's what that's basically the goal, okay, that I'm looking at. Okay, so I hope I hope the team is fine, okay, with the decision that I have to make, okay, some of this time. But some of you may feel, oh, I have a loss now, what to do, right? You have to top it up, okay? Make sure you top it up. So if I stop the whole thing, right, and you don't have $50, example, right? If I start next week and you don't have the minimum $50, your bot won't get started, right? Because the copy trading rule is that you need to have minimum $50. All right, so please take note of it. And also, because now we can start to generate profit consistently, so if you put even a bigger capital, you can actually recover your losses faster. All right, so that is how it works basically. Okay, so do take note, okay, of this insight, because I think this is important, so that you know exactly what I'm doing, and then you can actually align yourself accordingly. All right, so this is important. Okay, all right, any questions on that when come to the copy master? Any questions, guys? Yeah, that's right. Okay, please unmute yourself. Yes, Haruna.
Co-founder, you can hear me, JD Doctor.
Yes. Please go ahead.
We want to appreciate your insight. We thank God for the opportunity we have with you, and we thank God for the performances. We thank God for the trading, and we thank God for the team. Now, I want to ask a question. The question I want to ask is concerning the fund, the capital that is in the copy trading. Now, as we have incurred some small losses on the copy trade master. Now, what will you happy with your available? Your main capital. Maybe you invested $140 or $150. Now, as we have incurred the small losses, will the capital be the same again? Or what will happen to the profit
it's a good question, right? That's why I was explaining the exact situation earlier, right? Because if I stop, for example, the only way for you to know whether, honestly, guys, we have users who have already made 35% profit from his $5,000 accounts. So there are users who have made profit. There are also users who have not made profit, or they actually incur the losses. These are basically the users that came in later. All right, they came in later with a smaller capital. As I mentioned to you, right, the copy trading system by Bitget works differently. All right, and that could probably have caused some of those losses incurred with the with the later users, not the earlier users. Okay, but nevertheless, okay, so if, let's say, for example, you see that your let me just see that if you see that your available balance, right, and your account asset, you can see your account asset probably already lowered. All right, example, if you put in 150, your account asset, let's say 120 or 110 or 100, then you already know that there is a difference between your available balance and your account asset, right? There's a difference. So that is basically the deliberate loss that we have taken. So as I mentioned, right, we have taken a deliberate loss, I think might be about 10 to 15%. Some can even be up to 20%. But as I mentioned, right, I would rather preserve the 80% rather than 100% getting liquidated. Right? So that is what we are trying to do here. But nevertheless, if you don't want to, let's say, for example, when we stop the copy master, right, and then you have probably a few days. So when we start again, let's say when we start again, you didn't top it up. You continue to use your available balance. Then what will happen is that with that available balance, right, when we actually generate the profit, it will then recover the losses that you incurred to you. but it may take some time, right? So when that losses is recovered, then only you will start to see your real profit. Am I right? Because until that losses is not recovered, you are not going to see your realized profit yet. Can you understand me? So another way to do it is that how we do it is that if you have 150,000 and now your available balance 120, so the user sometimes they top up and put might be, let's say, 200, another to make it $200, right? So they top it up to make it $200 because with the new strategy that I have now, you can see we are closing the position with profit more and more. So now, instead of opening the order with 120, now we will open the order with 200. So that means your order now, the order size is now bigger, your recovery is faster, your profit is much faster. You get me, right? So this is how it works. All right, this is how it, but if you maintain your available balance, then it will take you a little bit longer because it depends on the cycle of the profit that we are taking. All right. But I think if you only put $50, then the deliberate loss may have bring down your available balance probably to $40 or to $45 or to $35. Then you might have a problem because your bot will not start because the requirement is minimum $50. You see that? So you might have to top up that $10 or $15, all right, to make sure that the bot continue to run. Can you see that? So that is how it works basically. Okay, so this is common. Okay, this is common, but this time around, because as I mentioned, right, I did not decided to do copy trading for many years, although I was with BitGet close to 7 years. All right, just recently I saw that the infrastructure was ready. So what happened within this 1 to 2 months was actually it's like more like a trial, more like a testing. But unfortunately, right, during this testing, the users are involved. Right, the users are involved, and then the market suddenly move about $15,000-$20,000. So that is the reason why you saw the Solana, the SUI, all were actually floating, right? But I don't want the things to float too long. So that's the reason why I actually close it to take that deliberate loss. All right. So I hope that is clear. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right. You're most welcome. Okay. Any other questions on that, guys, before we proceed? Okay, but are you guys happy now? You are seeing more screenshot of the profit that I'm putting up in the group. Yes or no? Okay, put up that in the chat. Okay, so you can see like Ether, right? We are continuously taking profit, right? So you see, I have to continuously do this because we have to speed up the profit taking. So it is enough to test the system, to test the infrastructure. Now I have to keep generating profit because then it will help, my partners to recover. And also, right, some partners are already starting to generate much greater profit. Okay, so that's what we want to do, right? So that's what we want to do. But nevertheless, the strategy is actually working well. I like the strategy that I have now. So it's just a matter of basically, getting everyone green back. Okay, that's all. Okay, so those who are red, don't worry. We will try to see if we can get everyone into green. Okay, so that's the goal. Okay, so I think we can do that together. Shouldn't be a problem. It's just that our partners have to understand what I'm really doing, so that they can basically, work together with me, share responsibility, work together with me, and then we can basically probably generate much greater profit from the CopyMaster. Okay, so high likely next week, right, I will start to share the new partners link. So those who want to be part of the copy trading, they have to use the new link, all right? New link in order to, the new private link in order to be part of the copy trading, right? So moving forward, right? Please understand, as I mentioned, right? We are not going to have multiple assets. It's only going to be Bitcoin and Ether, right? So please take note, because the more assets, the more it will consume your available balance. Okay, and if the market is severe, it will actually affect a lot of the positions. So we don't want that to happen. All right, so moving forward, it will be only Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we probably will have, you know, multiple cycle of positions that are open, so that we can open and close, so that the more we actually have the cycle of position open and close, the more profit we can generate. Okay, so that's basically what we want to do. All right, so I hope that is clear. Okay, great. All right, let me just move on then. Okay, move on. Okay, so make sure to go and enable the profit taking, right? So that the fund will then be sent to the spot wallet. So that, I think this is important, because if you really want to know how much profit you have really generated, it has to sit in your spot wallet. Okay, but the thing is that please also understand, okay, because you do have fund in your spot wallet for JDXBOT. So you need to know, okay, which is the profit from JDXBOT and which is the profit from the CopyMaster. Okay, so from JDXBOT, I think you can see the report, so it's quite clear. But it's just that you need to make sure to know that the income that is, or the profit that is coming from the CopyMaster. Okay, so you might need to go and check under the transaction detail. Okay, in the spot wallet, you can check the transaction detail. The income is coming from, the profit is coming from CopyMaster, or the profit is coming from your JDXBOT. Okay, you need to just check. So and also JDXBOT, you can check in your JDXBOT back office, right? The actual profit is also there in your dashboard. So in that manner, you can counter check and say, oh, okay, this is actually from the CopyMaster and this is from the JDXBOT. Okay, so just make sure that is clear, okay? Because when all the profit goes into the spot, you can be confused because you can't account that is for what. Okay, so you have to check the transaction details. Okay, so please take note. All right. Okay, I'll take a question later, but let me just proceed first. Okay, because also want to make sure we just confine to the time. All right. Okay, so that is the second one. Okay, the CopyMaster part of it. Okay. All right. Now let's just move on. Okay, so today, right, I want to basically educate you guys with this rule. Okay, it is called a 1% rule. Okay, now when we talk about this kind of rules, right, what I really want to teach the team is that a small consistent gain, right, just a small consistent 1% gain daily actually can generate millions of dollars for you within the next 2 to 3 years. Just that 1% gain every day. All right. So I just want to show you some calculation, okay? Calculation, so that you can relate to it and you can start to plan. Now, please understand, okay? When I share with you, it may not only be relevant for JDXBOT and the CopyMaster. It can be relevant for your investment outside that. So anything that you want to do, okay, or you want to invest, you have to follow certain rules and principles, all right? And that rule is actually what opened up this whole wealth creation opportunity, right? So if you have the rule, you have the strategy, all right? I call it a winning strategy, right? When you have a rule and you have a winning strategy, there is no way you can lose, okay? There's only one way is for you to win. All right, let's quickly look into how this 1% rule works, and then I'm going to show you some calculation, right? How we arrive to these numbers. All right, let's look into it. So now, please understand that this 1% rule is how small the daily gains actually can build the massive wealth, right? So sometimes, right, you see the trading, right? You see the trading is like, oh, this is a small gain, not really significant. If you have a $50 account, you are not really seeing much in that $50 account, right? Or if you have a $100 account, although the profit is being generated, you are not seeing that that profit is so significant, all right? But you never know the power of that small daily gain, right? And that daily gain is actually building a massive, massive wealth. And the other problem that a lot of the investor or people has is that they don't have a long-term outlook because they are only looking at now and today. All right. So for them, it's like, if I don't see it now, that is it. Okay, this thing is not working, right? But because they don't have the patience to wait for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, all right, they don't have, right? They don't have. So just imagine, right? If you would have probably, let's say, right, if probably you would have hold a gold, might be a few grams of gold, and you actually just hold it for the next 10 years. So what would have been the value of the gold today? Or if you would have bought a 0.01 Bitcoin, all right, let's say 10 years ago, what is the value of that 0.01 Bitcoin today? Can you see that? So although, yes, when you bought 10 years ago, there is not much value in that 0.01 Bitcoin. And by the time it is growing, you are not seeing that significant. But look at it now. At 0.01 times $160,000, what is the value of that 0.01? Can you see that? So this is what this concept of 1% rule is all about. Okay, so now everyone wants a fast gain, right? But the real alpha is just 1% growth every day. So if you can find an opportunity, for example, right, let's say this investment gives you 0.2%. This investment gives you 0.5%. This investment gives you 0.4%. So you may have multiple investment, but all this investment, right, gives you a 1% growth every day. Can you see that? So so in this manner, you are not dependent only on one and put the whole egg into it, but you have multiple stream of opportunities or income that is coming that actually giving you a minimum of, let's say, 1% growth every day. All right. So that is how you must be thinking, right? So that is the reason why I opened up a few other opportunity like JDXBOT, the CopyMaster, right? Why now you can see multiple percentage of income, right, coming in. But please understand that some of these things probably, sometimes it may not be daily, sometimes it can be 30 days, but if you divide it by 30 days, you can get an average for the daily. All right. So there are different ways to look into it. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is that instead of looking at the fast gain, okay, look into the real alpha, which is just 1%. All right. So now let's take an example, right? You start with $1,000. So let's say your seed capital is $1,000. For some of you, it will be $100. For some of you, it can be $10,000. It depends. But let's use just $1,000, right? If you grow it by 1% daily over 250 trading days. Why 250? We have excluded the holidays and the weekends. All right. So only 250 days. Don't even talk about 360 days. All right. So now what is the gain like? If you only invested 1,000, all right, what will be the gain that we are looking at for the next 250 days? So what I'm trying to say is that you are earning a 1% daily and you are not touching that money at all. All right, that 1%, you are not touching it at all. What you are doing, you are keep compounding that 1% every single day. All right, now let's look into some numbers, right? So in 1 year, with just $1,000, compounding that 1% daily return every day, you would arrive at $37,472. Is that mind-blowing? Yes or no? Put it in the chat room. What do you guys think? Just $1,000. So just imagine, right? If JDXBOT or the CopyMaster can give you 1% every day, and you are keep compounding that 1% for the next 250 days, you would already have 37,000. Isn't that crazy? Now, if you do the same, okay, for 2 years, that will be $1.4 million. And if you continue to do that without touching that 1% for the next 3 years, that will be roughly around 52 million. Now, is this real? With just $1,000, can you arrive to this? Absolutely. That is the reason why you see the banks are charging you with an interest, right? It's a compounded interest they are charging you. So anything that you do, compounding that 1% over and over and over and over again without even touching it, you will arrive at a massive number, right? And the earlier you start, the better it is. That's for sure, right? But even at this time, right, you can do that. That will be great. Okay, that will be great. Okay, so this is just to show you the power of that small gain, all right, done consistently, you know, over. So it's up to you, right? You want to take that money in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or you want to go further, 5 years, 10 years, and so on. So if you look into a lot of this Wall Street, into all these investors like Warren Buffett and so on, right? They are working on this compounded interest manner, right? So that's the reason why you can see that when you check on their net worth, right? Now you can see they are talking about how much are they generating every single hour, how much they are generating every single minutes. Now you are even seeing them generating every single second, right? So can you see it has been compounded every single second? All right. So this is a powerful, this is a powerful, concept. Now let me just quickly get to the calculator, right, to show you so that you know where we are getting these numbers, right? So now you can go to this compound interest calculator. Go to the Google, all right, and look for the compound interest calculator, all right, and then you can actually check through and get to this number, right? So let's say, right, as I mentioned, right, we invest $1,000. The interest is 1% daily. So that is your earning, right? You're earning a 1% daily. And here you check, you select custom. Go to custom and put 250 days per year. All right. So you're going to compound 250 days in a year. So the number of year will be 1. Okay. Number of year will be 1. So you want to check for the first year. So then don't do anything here because you are not going to reinvest nothing. You are not going to add any capital. You are only going to use 1,000. So you go and calculate. So once you calculate, right, you will see the details here. Okay, you start with 1,000, and what happens to your interest, right? The amount of interest that you are earning, and that interest is being accrued. So what is the amount that you will be earning for the first month, for the second month, all the way until the 12th month? All right, now, this is for the first year. Can you see that? This is for the first year. Now, if you change the second year, right, don't maintain everything. Now we change for 2 years. So, and we do the calculation again. Oh. Okay, so let's do 1,000, right? 1,000, and that will be a 1%, okay, daily. Okay, this is going to be daily. Here I'm going to go for custom, and we're going to do 250 days, and that will be for the second year, right? So for the 2 years. So calculate. Can you see that? That will be around 2 years, right? 1.4 million. So you can use this calculator to calculate anything, right? Anything. And basically what we are doing is a compound interest. So you are just basically working on the 1%, right? On the 1% interest, okay? 1% earning, and that's where you get this number, all right? So I hope that is clear, okay? So I show you the compound interest. You can actually Google it and just get those compound interest, and then you can calculate whatever interest, right? So I think that is great because if you are investing, right, I think you should know some of these tools so that you exactly know exactly, right, what you are really looking for. But please understand, okay, a lot of these things gives you some kind of guideline. It's not like it's a mandatory written on the stone and so on. Okay, so don't I want to say push yourself so hard and so on. Okay, just take it easy. Okay, it's just a learning process. I'm just showing you something new here just to spark some innovation and imagination, creativity, so that you have some new idea, to get certain things done and so on. Okay, so that will be critical. Okay, now why 1% wins? All right, because lower risk, right? Lower risk, you have a peace of mind. So that's why even in trading, right, you don't have to like, oh, I must make 10% every day. No. You make a small gain every day and you compound it. Keep compounding, right? Next is easier, more frequent setup. Can you see that? More cycles of trading, more frequent setup, more positions open. All right. And now you compounding turns small wins into big gains. So you compound it. Can you see that? So remember, guys, if you earn the 1% and you keep it, you are not going to compound that 1% into the $1,000. So your $1,000 is going to give you another 1%. But if that 1% you compound it back, now it is no longer $1,000, right? It will be $1,010. You see that? So imagine, right? Every day, your 1,000 is now growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because you are keep compounding. So if you cannot do it for 1 year, why don't try for 3 months? Why don't try for 1 month and see what happens, right, to that $1,000, okay? And so, as I mentioned, right, that's the reason why it's scalable, sustainable. And I think if you ask me, right, this is what smart people do, right? So, but the thing is that make sure that $1,000 is a money, it's a residual money that you don't really actually need it. Okay, the problem with so many people, they investing the money they need it. That's the problem. So they don't have the patience and they try to take that money out and try to spend it because that is what they have. So if that is what you have, you shouldn't invest. Okay, investment is always from your residual, right? The money that you really not need. Okay, so this money will not affect your lifestyle. It will not affect your family. So this is your excess fund that you have, and you are basically putting in there and compounding it. All right. Okay. So now, so you can see, right? These are the daily targets, right? If it's $100, it's $1 per day. If it's a 500, it's $5. So if you are trading, this should be your target. Okay. If you are trading, right? This should be your target. Okay. Or if you are investing, you might want to find a way, okay, how you can arrive to this target. Right? Okay, now, so this is the winning cycle, right? So you hit the target, you take the money, and you repeat the same process. So you keep doing the same cycle. You hit the target, you take the money, all right? You repeat the same process. You hit the target, you take the money, you repeat, you keep doing. Is that simple? Yes, it is the simplest things that actually create wealth, not the difficult things in life. All right. So some people are really good with the real estate. They've been doing real estate for years until they are bored. And they are still making millions, even though they are bored, because they are used to the same process, right? Same documentation. Everything is the same. They have to follow the law. They have to do the same. It becomes so bored, but yet they are making millions, right? So these are the kind of cycles. Once you are good at it, right, you become so bored. It's like so familiar for you. Just by looking at the trend, you already know the market is going to go up. Just by looking at the pattern, you know already the market is going to go down. It's like, oh my goodness, so bored. For you, it's like so easy, right? Yes, so this is the cycle, right? You hit the target, you take the money, you compound it back, you repeat. You hit the target, you take the money, you compound it back, you repeat. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, okay? Now, this is the winning attributes, right? If you look at these people, right, that are really, really successful, they are disciplined. So, for example, right, the order size, right? Come on. If the people who are not disciplined, they may change the order size. But look at it, right? Look at my trading, guys. If you are doing the CopyMaster, whenever I start the first position is always 1% of your available balance. Is discipline. All right. So next is patience greater than greed. So your patience must be bigger than your greed. Okay, not the other way around. So if your greed is bigger, then you put the bigger order size, you might even lose everything. All right. So patience is key when come to the market, right? Because if you are impatient, the market will punish you. You see that? So this is important. Okay, these are important winning attributes that you need to have. Okay, so discipline. Okay, number 2, patience must be bigger than your greed. And number 3 is always about the capital preservation, right? Not profit, capital preservation. Because if you don't have capital, you cannot continuously generate the percentage you wanted. You see that? But with discipline, with patience, most likely, okay, your capital will be preserved. Okay, but if you start to become greedy, impatient, you don't have the discipline, you keep changing your order size and so on, you know, then you start to see you keep losing. All right. So these are some of the important winning attributes or the mindset, right, of the winners, right, that actually help them to generate that small gain of that 1%. They had the tenacity actually to wait for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Now, if I ask you a simple question, right, how many of you have at least bought a token or a Bitcoin and you have hold it minimum 1 year? Honestly, probably no one. Why? Because of these winning attributes. You see that? We don't have the discipline. We see the price goes up, we just go and sell it. You see that? So that's the reason why you can see, right? Some people, yesterday, okay, I had someone call me. All right, call me because he visited his friend, and that friend is a friend of mine. And that friend began to share how John David visited that city. And at that time, I was actually training them about Bitcoin, how to set up the wallet and so on, and how he actually learned what I taught him. And he actually used that, and he got properties now. He invested into property. He got a great family. And he was telling my friend, that he was so grateful that John David came, to his city and taught him what to do, like what, 10 years ago, and now he's doing so well just from the crypto itself. Can you just imagine? And that is a huge reward, right? Huge reward. When I hear that, I was like, oh my God, I never know that sometimes that simplest things can actually change and transform people's life, and they are doing so well. You see that? So these are the seed that we have planted, but not everyone may take the seed and run with it. Okay, some people, they see skeptical. I remember, I think Michael Pagasa is here, right? Some of you from Papua New Guinea is here. I remember I was there, right? The first time, if I'm not mistaken, is 1990. It's 2009, if I'm not mistaken, 2009 or 2010, and Bitcoin was $600. I remember we are the first one who used the Stanley ballroom. If I'm not mistaken, the Stanley Hotel ballroom. And I think we had about 300 or 400 people attended that session. And here I am, okay, first time arriving in Papua New Guinea and teaching them about Bitcoin. And, they were all of them have different mindset, skeptical. Some people didn't believe. I don't know who actually bought Bitcoin at that time, only $600. If just a few would have bought it, just one Bitcoin, and keep it, today, I think they would have been probably multi-millionaire, because Kina is around 3 point something, right? 3.5, 3.6. So the weaker your currency become, the more richer you become, because you are holding, this kind of assets, right? So I hope, those of you from the Papua New Guinea can testify that, okay, can confirm that, okay, because I know I was there, all right? But unfortunately, right, sometimes these are some of the disappointment that people don't really actually hit to that prophetic, training that I did, and or probably they don't really see what I see, so sometimes it is difficult, right? But nevertheless, right, that was a life-changing session. Can you see that? So from that on, right, I go there I think I was so frequent going to Papua New Guinea, keep training the people. And I do know some of them who bought 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, they kept it until it is 100,000, and they call me and say, "Doctor, how to sell this Bitcoin?" And I was so impressed to see that, wow, that is $100,000 against the weakening of the Kina, right? That is massive, right? That is massive. Okay, so there are people, okay, that are actually take heat. There are people who don't take heat. But what I'm trying to say is that these winning attributes, right? Discipline, patience, beyond greed, and also, right, once you got discipline, you got patience, you don't really have to worry about the capital, okay? The capital will normally be preserved, okay? So this is just to, give you some illustration about this whole 1% rule, okay? And I hope, all right, you guys are benefiting, all right, from this sharing today. And also, right, please, okay, understand the market situation as I shared with you, and the progress with JDXBOT, and also, right, with the CopyMaster situation. And last but not least, okay, I hope this 1% rule will change many lives. Okay, I hope that you listen back to the video, understand it, how to go about it, in case you are investing somewhere and so on, right? All right, so see in what way, right, you can actually apply this rule into your life, and use the compounding calculator, to calculate, so that you can start to simulate the earnings that you are looking at. Please understand, guys, when you start to simulate things, right, you start to simulate your mind. You start to simulate your heart. You start to see the future, right? Wow, $1 million. Things that you don't see now, you start to see, and it is going to drive you. That's why, right, I like one of the scripture in the Bible. It said, write the vision so that it may run the person who actually going to read it, right? So if you're going to write that vision, if you start to put that thing into your mind, it's going to drive you crazy. That's why you cannot sleep. That's why you have sleepless night. That's why you feel like 24 hours is not enough. You see that? You want to run faster than the rest. You see that? So because you have activated something. So this kind of simulation of the numbers, right, it is powerful. I have a whiteboard in my room. This is my room, and I have a whiteboard in my room, and my whiteboard have all kinds of things, you see. So you put it there because you are seeing it every day. What you see is going to inspire you, right? What you write is going to inspire you, right? So this is powerful. You do not need, come on, guys. If you are not motivated by your own self, no one can motivate you. Don't waste your money on all these motivational speakers. All right? Because if you cannot motivate yourself, no one else can motivate. Even God cannot motivate you. All right? You have to learn to motivate. Encourage yourself in the Lord, right? You have to encourage yourself. You have to speak to yourself, right? You have to speak to your mind. Sometimes you have to rebuke yourself. All right? So that's how, okay? That's how things works, right? So it's getting exciting. So you are living in the world of your own, and people think you are crazy. It's fine. Let them think you are crazy. Can you see that? You live in that world. You are excited in that world. You are motivated in this world that you are creating, right? Because you are seeing things that they are not seeing. All right? So let me see. So now, will you still advise that one? I honestly, guys, yesterday I was having a chat with one of my friends asking me whether should I buy Bitcoin. So as I mentioned, right, how many of you read the article that I sent about the danger of the institution? I think I put up that article, right, in the group also. If you read that article, right, so if you ask me, guys, looking into the price that is already at the top, it may not be the right. If I won't advise anyone to go and buy 1 Bitcoin at this time, right? I think I won't advise you to do that. Okay. Now, when everyone plus the institution are telling you to buy, that is the time for you to exit. Okay, because the reason why they ask you to buy, they want you to push the price so that they can sell. All right, so please wait. Okay, wait until the price comes down. Bitcoin price will come down. That's for sure. There is no doubt about it. Okay, and the other thing is that, as I always mention, the strategy is no longer, Bitcoin is no longer the store of value. Bitcoin is a profit tool. So the institutions are in it. They don't care about who holding Bitcoin. They don't care about Bitcoin goes where, because they just want to take profit, and then they buy back at the bottom, and then they continue to do that. So you are stuck if you're holding something like that. So what you can do, the strategy is you have Bitcoin and you have stable coin. You see that? So this is the strategy. Stable coin means USDT or USDC. So that's why you see why we do BTC, USDT, USDC for JDXBOT. Because we want you to earn Bitcoin. We want you to earn the stable coin. Now, why you need both of these? Now, let's say the institution pump the Bitcoin price. So when they pump the Bitcoin price up, you convert your BTC to USDT. Now, when they sell and the price comes down, you buy back by converting your USDT to BTC. Now you get double the BTC value. So now you must be smart. You must know how to play with Bitcoin and stablecoin. So you just need to do the swap. You can swap in Binance. You can swap in BitGo, right? You can easily swap BTC, USDT, USDT, BTC in BitGo actually. Can you see that? Okay. So is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Okay. So that is how. So now this is what we call swap. That's why you've been hearing me that I'm telling you that we might create the auto swap bot, right? The auto swap bot, so that it can do for you the swapping automatically. Because when you talk about the swapping, you want to know the price range, right? So let's say, for example, if the Bitcoin price moved by $1,000, all right, some people, if you $1,000 means you need to frequently watch the price, right? But if you are working, you don't have the time, then you might want to see the price move by 5,000 range. So when Bitcoin price goes up, let's say $5,000, 5,000 range, right? Let's say from 116,000, it goes to, let's say, 120,000. So what you can do now, you can convert your BTC to USDT. And then if the BTC price now comes down from 120 back to 115 or 116, you now convert back that USDT and buy the and convert it back to BTC. Now your BTC value will double. So you keep doing this, right? And you have a record. Make sure you record it. You have an Excel spreadsheet and you record it. You see, it's like you are becoming a mini money changer. So every time you swap from Bitcoin to USDT, you write it down. From BTC to USDT, you write it down. So you will see the number of Bitcoin. So the goal is what? The goal is more Bitcoin, right? You want the number of Bitcoin to increase. Are you learning something? All right. I think I have done this training before, right? So, but nevertheless, right? I think this is a very, very powerful strategy. You do not need to trade. You do not need technical analysis. All that you need to know is the price movement. That's all. Like today, right? Like today, for example, when the price move, all right, but it's up to you, right? You want the price move $1,000 to swap. You want the price move 2,000. That is up to you. Depend on your time. Okay, depend how much leisure time you have. If you are busy, you are working, you might not have much time. All right. And if you have the XC currency app, you can actually put the, I think you can put the alarm there, right? You can put some kind of alarm. It will trigger when the price starts to hit that range or something, right? You can do that, all right? So this is another way, right? Just a swapping, just a mini money changer, right? USDT convert to, let's say, Kina. Then Kina convert to USDT. USDT convert to Kina. So that is what we call flipping. You keep flipping one currency to another. So it's the same thing. You can swap or flip Bitcoin to USDT, USDT to Bitcoin. You can do that, right? So this is a simple way, right? A simple way. So that's the reason why, rather than holding Bitcoin, which is more risky, it is better that you swap it and hold USDT when the price is coming down, because when the Bitcoin price is coming down, you will actually gain more Bitcoin. Can you understand me? All right. Is this clear? Put it in the chat room, guys. Is this clear? Am I helping you? Okay, great. All right. Any questions before we adjourn the meeting today? I hope you are learning something today. Any questions or anything else, you want to clarify? Any comments, any inputs? Please do so. Anyone? Okay, great. Awesome. Yes, Obong, yes, please unmute yourself. We have Obong, who has, I think, just recently conferred as a professor, right? So he's now Professor Moses, Professor Obong. Yes, Professor, please go ahead.
Doctor, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good day, team. Doctor, really appreciate what you are doing. Like the insight today is really overwhelming. I really appreciate this insight, and I know we're going to use it. Team, I would like to share one example that he said. They said one Zoom meeting we did some years back when Bitcoin was 30,000, between 30 to 35. He actually said we should get 1 Bitcoin per family, but I didn't have the resources to do that. And now he's talking about how we can swap since the price is very high now. So he's been doing his best, and I just hope that we'll listen to him because he has a lot of experience. Personally, I'm learning a lot from him on this crypto. I didn't know crypto at all, but with Dr. John David, at least I know what I know now. Before I was complete novice about crypto. So Doctor, we really appreciate what you are doing. Both on the JDXBOT, on the JDX CopyMaster, we really appreciate, especially the time you are taking those time to help us achieve this. We really appreciate. Please keep up doing what you are doing. We really appreciate what you are doing. We are really encouraged by what you are doing, and we'll continue. We'll continue to give you all the support you need for us to achieve the result, of empowering ordinary people to generate extraordinary income. Thank you very much. God bless you. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Obong. Truly appreciate, that kind words. And also, yeah, I remember I did that training, right? 1 family, 1 Bitcoin. That time Bitcoin was only $30,000, and still nobody listened to me, right? So this is the reality, guys. Sometimes, I remember when Bitcoin 2009, I learned about Bitcoin. Okay, so before that I was trading gold. So I like to trade commodities. So I trade gold. And then in 2009, when I heard Bitcoin, I said, wow, this is a digital gold. So I shifted my trading from trading gold in the Forex market, and I started now to learn how to trade Bitcoin. All right, but please understand, at that time, Bitcoin was only $300. All right, and I bought 120 Bitcoin at that time. So just imagine, right? So the only thing I saw about that Bitcoin, it is a digital gold. So in my mind, I thought that if gold is a reserve currency, one day Bitcoin can also become the reserve currency. And I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I did share that Bitcoin will become the reserve currency. Look at it now, guys. Countries are now adopting Bitcoin as their reserve currency. It is already coming to pass. So a lot of the things that we are talking here in JD Wealthmaker community is happening before our own eyes. Okay, but please, there is no reason or there is no urgency for you to go and buy Bitcoin now. Don't ever do that, because it's all about timing. If you go and buy now And imagine if the price comes down by 50%, you will be crying because you have to wait the next 4 years. All right, please understand that, because Bitcoin price, always the cycle is 4 years. Okay, so don't make any mistake. Don't listen to all these people who are telling you to go and buy Bitcoin. You are trading is fine. Trading is okay. Trading, we are not holding. But if you want to hold something, you don't hold a speculative asset like Bitcoin when the price is already at the top. So what you need to do, right? You can do DCA, dollar cost averaging. All right. I'm not so sure. Yeah, maybe if you guys interested to learn the DCA, put in the chat. Okay, I will see whether one of the AMA session I can probably teach the DCA again. All right. So you can do the dollar cost averaging. All right. Or you need to do swapping where you have Bitcoin and you have USDT. Can you understand me? So that is how basically you can work on at this time, rather than you go and buy and hold it. I won't advise anyone to buy at this time. Okay, but if the price comes down, there's a correction, might be to 70, 80,000. I think that is the right time you should jump in. But even that, do DCA, dollar cost averaging, right? Don't go in straight away, put $10,000 and you buy, and then if the price from the 80,000 go to 40,000, how? Then you will be crying. Okay, so always do DCA, dollar cost averaging. Smaller, buy smaller amount in the fixed, in the fixed frequency. So you can buy $100 every month, $100 every month, just like doing saving. You don't need to buy one shot. Okay, don't ever do that. Okay, so it's very dangerous. Okay, so anyhow, I will see. Okay, if I have I have that privilege, I will probably do a DCA trading again and show you the example of an account, right, that already actually probably have few $100,000 there just by doing the DCA. I can show you the real account with the real data in the market. All right. So please understand that a lot of these things, when it comes to financial, right, it's all about timing. It's all about timing. So if you are right, if you follow the timing, you don't chase after it. You only need to position yourself. It will come look for you. You understand me? So that is how wealth creation is. Wealth creation is about identifying the right product, the right timing, and position yourself accurately. That's all. So if you know the money is going to flow into let's say crypto, why is so many people are not into crypto? You see that? They know money is going to flow into crypto. Why are they not? If you are into crypto, then money is going to come to you, right? You don't have to go chase after it. So look at the people who are not in the crypto space, right? They're still where they are. So if the money is going to move into, let's say, AI, then you might, if you look for certain things in the AI and position yourself, probably that businesses will come to you because you are actually providing those services for the AI. You see that? So that is how the trend, right? So if you can find the trend, the right product at the right time, and you position yourself, it will flow and come and look for you, right? Because you have now positioned. So the key word here is positioning, right? So you position yourself. So that's why in 2009, when I positioned myself into the crypto space, especially at that time was only Bitcoin, right? So I saw that, millions of dollars actually go through my hand, okay, during that time, because people don't know, they look for me, they want to learn how to buy. When they want to buy, I charge them some fees. I also make money. They also are happy. Can you see? So there's a lot of things were just happening, right? Because that is the industry that was actually starting to grow. And now you see, look at it. It is crazy, right? Countries are into it, institutions are into it, and so on. So, but now the game plan is completely different. Those days, the game plan is you have to save Bitcoin, right? You buy Bitcoin, you keep, you hodl, because one day Bitcoin will get 100,000. Now it's already 100,000. The story is different, right? The institutions are taking profits and so on. So you have to be very, very careful, okay? All right. Okay, guys. I hope, all right? I hope this session has been helpful. All right, so do come on board when we are doing the AMA session, because I'm trying to see if I can provide some new value Okay, as I always mention, right? Empowering ordinary people, not only in terms of generating the money, right? Generating profit, but education is critical. All right. The more you learn, the more you earn. So the more you know about certain things, you become skillful, the more you start to earn. All right. So like today, right? Today, I think you learned something. Can you just imagine that if you can quantify it, okay, you can monetize what you have learned, and you find a way of that, the rule of 1%, and then you find a way about the swapping and all those things, right? So you have to do some homework, right? But I think this is good because I just want to challenge you. I just want to trigger that imagination, that creativity back, so that you get so excited that there is new things, that you want to go after, rather than doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different result. It will never happen. If you want a different result, do things differently. All right? That is very important. Okay? Yes, Aruna, please go ahead. Okay, let me just take this one and then we will get going. Yes.
Yes, my question I want to ask is about the switch on to the sport. If you want to switch it on for the interest to go direct to your sport wallet, is it appropriate now or after you might have closed all the position for the copy masters?
Any time is fine. Okay, if you do it now, it might not happen. It's okay, but you have already enabled it. So when later on all the positions are closed, then it will basically will take place. So you can enable at any time. No issue about it. It won't affect your trading. Okay.
Thank you,
all right,
sir.
guys. Thank you. Truly appreciate all of your time. Appreciate for coming on board. Really appreciate. It's always good to see people are here that I can talk to. And you are basically benefiting from it. Truly appreciate your presence. This video will be up later on. I will put in the group, and also you can find it in my YouTube channel, JDXBOT YouTube channel. All right. So take care, guys. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you. Okay, let me see if I can unmute you guys. Okay, all right. I think you are unmuted.
Thank you, Dr. JD. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. JD. Thank
all
you.
right.
I
God bless you all. Take care, guys. Take care. God bless you. Take care.
Bye.
Have a great week and weekend ahead.
Many thanks. Many thanks.
Have a great weekend too.